Good afternoon, children. Today we will be solving some problems. We will be taking problems from the exercise because we have some theoretical concept, but we need to learn. We need to have the skill, problem solving skill. So few simple problems I will solve now, and then we will move to the next topic, that is real numbers. So I have written here one question. Prove that 5 plus root 2 is not a rational number. So in all the questions we are preparing the method of contradiction. So here we will take first let 5 plus root 2 be a rational number. In the contradiction method, we take a contradictory statement. Means we are taking, if possible, let 5 plus root 2 is a rational number. So if it is a rational number, it has all the characteristics that rational number should have. That implies 5 plus root 2 equal to R I am taking. R is a rational number. If R is a rational number, that means root 5 equal to R minus 5. Root 5 equal to R minus 5. So if root 2 equal to R minus 5. So here what happens? R is rational. R is rational. 5 is also rational. 5 is also rational. So R is rational, 5 is rational. That implies R minus 5 is also rational, because the difference of two rational numbers. The difference of two rational numbers is always rational. The difference of two rational numbers is always rational. That is why R minus 5 is also rational. That implies, see, R minus 5 equal to root 2. That implies root 2 is also rational. So root 2 is also rational. But this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational. Root 2 is irrational. Here we are getting root 2 is rational, but actually root 2 is irrational. Already we have proved it. So this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational. Hence our assumption is wrong. Hence our assumption is wrong. So we can write 5 plus root 2 is not a rational number, or is not rational. 5 plus root 2 is not rational. So this is how we need to write. So here there is nothing difficult, but what you need to learn here, understand, is how to write the statements here. So statement writing skill you need to develop. So next we will take one more now, similar type. 3 minus 5 root 3. 3 minus 5 root 3. Prove that you can take any other number also, no problem. What is given, it is not necessary that what is given in the book we have to take 3 minus 5 root 3 is not rational or is irrational, whatever it is irrational. Is irrational. Prove that 3 minus 5 root 2. In the book it is given 3 minus 5 root 3. I have taken here root 2. You can take root 7. Whatever you take, that is same method will remain same. 3 minus root 5 root 2 is irrational. So I will write here, let 3 minus 5 root 2 be rational. Be rational. That implies 3 minus 5 root 2 equal to r. That implies 3 minus r equal to 5 root 2. That implies 5 root 2 equal to 3 minus r. That implies root 2 equal to 3 minus r by 5. 3 minus r by 5. So here we can write 3 is rational. 3 is rational. R is rational. R is rational. That implies 3 minus r is also rational. Also rational. So 3 minus r is also rational. 5 is rational. 5 is rational. 5 is rational. That implies if 5 is rational, 3 minus r divided by 5 is also rational. Because when a rational number is divided by another rational number, then the quotient is also rational. So that implies root 2 is rational. That implies root 2 is rational. Again we got the contradiction. Again. We can use the same what we have written here. The same will come here, but not try to write again. But this contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational. This contradicts the fact that root 2 is irrational. Hence, our assumption is wrong. Our assumption is wrong. So we can write 3 minus 5 root 2. 3 minus 5 root 2 is irrational. So write it down. We can move to the next question. Next we will prove that root 2 is irrational. Prove that root 2 plus root 5 irrational. Here you see children, here we had this 3 rational and 5 root 2 irrational. So difference between irrational and irrational. So like a plus root b or a minus root b or root a minus b or root a plus b, or you can say a plus m root b, a minus m root b, a m root a plus b, m root b a minus b, all this form. Here that means 2 plus root 3, 2 minus root 3, root 2 minus 3, root 2 plus 3, 2 plus 3 root 5, 2 minus 3 root 5, 3 root 5 plus 2, 3 root 5 minus 2. So this pattern all we can do in this method. Whether the first number is rational and second irrational, or first is irrational, second irrational. See here. And here what? Here only root b, but here I have written m root b, like 2 root 3, 5 root 2, 2 root 7. So all these formats, expression of all these formats, you can prove in this method. But that is little different. So what is the pattern here? Both are root, like root a and root b. This is a different pattern. So I will do one question of this pattern, how to do that. So here also we can use the same method. We can write let root 2 plus root 5 equals r. So here I will write r is any rational number. Any rational number. That is r is rational. Let root 2 plus root 5 equal to r. That means r is any rational number. Then what we can do? Root 2 plus root 5 whole square equals r whole square. Squaring both the sides, what we can get? Root 2 whole square plus root 5 whole square plus 2 into root 2 into root 5. That equals r square. Squaring both the sides, and here I have applied the identity a plus b whole square formula. I have applied a square plus b square plus 2ab. That implies 2, and here I will get 5, and here I will get 2 root 10. That equals r square. And here I will get 2 plus 5 7 plus 2 root 10 equals r square. That implies 2 root 10 equals r square minus 7. That implies root 10 equal to r square minus 7 by 2. R square minus 7 by 2. And here what we can write? Here we can write r is rational. R is rational. R is rational. That implies r square is rational. R square is rational. That implies r square minus 7 is rational. R square minus 7, here is the numerator, you see. R square minus 7 is rational. 2 is rational, 2 is also rational, 2 is also rational, that implies r square minus 7 by 2 is also rational. That implies root 10 is rational, but we cannot find the square root of 10. 10 is not a perfect square. Remember, 10 is not a perfect square. So if you are finding the square root of a number which is not a perfect square, you cannot extract its exact root. It will give you non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. Then again you have to write this contradicts. This contradicts the fact that this contradicts the fact that root 10 is irrational. Root 10 is irrational. So this fact is contradicted here. So we can write our assumption is wrong. And hence root 2 plus root 5 is irrational. Hence our assumption is wrong. So we can write root 2 plus root 5 is irrational. So this much is there, and your exercise, very small exercise was there, and we will move to the next part of the chapter, that is the real numbers. We will read the real numbers and how to know what is rational, what is irrational, and what are the real numbers. You will understand in details now. So real numbers, we can move to the topic real number. Our rational and irrational numbers both are completed. Now some theoretical discussion we will have about the real numbers, and then we can start solving problems on the real numbers. So now real numbers. I had told you children, there are infinitely many rational numbers. Between two given rational numbers. 2 is a rational number and 3 is a rational number. 2 is a rational number and 3 is a rational number. Between 2 and 3, there are infinitely many rational numbers. And a rational number between two rational numbers, we were finding 2 plus 3 by 2, that is 5 by 2. Again we can find a rational number between these two. We can find a rational numbers between these two. So there are infinitely many rational numbers. Between two given rational numbers. Infinitely many. Now when we come to the number line, we say number line, this is 1 and this is 2, and there are infinitely many rational numbers, infinitely many rational numbers between two rational numbers. Also, there are infinitely many irrational numbers also. Irrational numbers also there are many. So we can represent a rational number here. We can also represent one irrational number here. We can represent a rational number here. We can also represent one irrational number here. So between two given rational numbers, there are infinitely many rational numbers. There are infinitely many irrational numbers also. So on the same number line, we can represent natural numbers. We can represent the whole numbers. We can represent integers. We can represent rational numbers. We can also represent irrational numbers here. We learned that day how to represent the irrational number root 2. How to represent the irrational number root 2 on the number line. I had told you this is 0 and this is 1. Then at 1 we have to draw one perpendicular 90 degree. And this distance 1 unit how much? 1 unit arc you will cut and you will join here. So this is 1 unit. This is 1 unit, children, and this is also 1 unit. And now by using the Pythagoras theorem we can find this is name it A, B, this OB equal to root 2. Then measure the length OB with the help of compass and with OB as radius and OH center. Draw one arc here and this length OC, I am naming it C. And I will write here OB equal to how much? Root 2 and that equal to OC also. OC equal to also OB, that equal to root 2. So here the point C, where the point C, this point C is at a distance of root 2 unit from O. So this is root 2 on the number line. So we are able to represent the even irrational numbers. We are able to represent even the irrational numbers on the number line. So all the rational numbers, irrational numbers can be represented on the number line, and at that time we use the term real number line. Real number line. A number line on which all the numbers, rational number, irrational numbers are represented, and we use the term R. We use the term R. For real number, R equal to rational numbers and irrational numbers. The union of rational numbers and irrational numbers. The union of rational numbers and irrational numbers gives us the real number. All the real numbers, rational numbers and irrational numbers together referred to as real numbers. So real numbers, representation of real numbers. Representation of real numbers. We had learned earlier that the decimal number system is decimal number system. All the terminating decimal, terminating decimals, non-terminating, recurring type. Terminating type of decimal and non-terminating recurring type of decimals, they are the rational numbers Q, but non-terminating, non-recurring type, non-terminating and non-recurring type, non-recurring also. This type of decimal numbers, they are the irrational numbers because they cannot be expressed. They cannot be expressed in the form of a by b or in the form of p by q, where p and q are integers, q is not equal to 0. So now all these terminating decimals, non-terminating recurring decimals, non-terminating non-recurring decimals, all the type of decimals, they are now real numbers. They are now called real numbers. So here now decimal expansion of real numbers. Decimal expansion of real numbers. Decimal expansion. See, 5 is a natural number. The number 5 is natural. The number 5 is whole. The number 5 is an integer. Number 5 is also rational number. Also rational number because 5 equal to 5 by 1. And the number 5 can also be written in the decimal form. 5 means 5.0. We are learning decimal expansion of real numbers. Every real number can be written in decimal form. Every real number when I say rational as well as irrational. All the rational and irrational numbers can be written in the form of decimal. Decimal expansion. 5 can be written in the form of 5.0. So all the whole numbers and integers, rational, this natural number, whole numbers and integers can be written in the decimal form. But as regards this kind of number 2 by 5 can be written in the decimal form like 0.4, because when I divide 2 by 5, it is not going 5 zeros are 0. Then down came 2 point, put a decimal point, bring down 0 here, 5 4 are 20. So now it is terminated here. So it is a terminating decimal. So this all kinds of fractions can be expressed in the decimal form, but some of the fractions will give terminating decimals, but some of the fractions will give recurring decimals, like 2 by 3. When I divide 2 by 3, 3 zeros are 0, it will give 2, then put a decimal point, bring a 0, 3 6 are 18, down came 2, 3 6 are 18, because every step you can add 1 1 0 2, down came 0, 3 6 are 18, and this will go on and on. So our answer is 0.666. It will go on and on. And instead of writing that, we write this kind of decimal by using a bar over the recurring digits or the repeating digits, we say. So 6 is coming again and again. So we put a bar over 6. Or in some book you can find 0.6. Over this you can find a dot also like that. That means this 6 will be coming again and again. So here this is a terminating decimal. It came to an end. After that there is nothing. This did not come to an end, but it is coming again and again. And now here 0.6 bar. Instead of writing 6 again and again, we wrote 0.6 bar or 0.6 over bar over 6. We have put one dot here. So both the form of writing are correct. Whatever you want, you can write. So this is decimal expansion of the real numbers. So now these are rationals. Irrational numbers are also called real numbers. Like root 2 is irrational number. And what about its decimal expansion? Its decimal expansion, when we do we have to do it, then it is one never-ending process. It is one never-ending process. It doesn't come to an end. We are finding the square root of 2. We are finding square root of 2. 1 1 are 1. 1 1 are 1. Then here 2. Put this point here. Bring down 0 0 here. 0 0. Now 1 into 2 2. And here I will take how many times? I will take 1 into 2 2. 1 point root 2 square root of 2 1 point, it is coming 4. So here if you take here 4 times, here you have to write 4, sorry here I made mistake, 2 1. So here I wrote here 4, I wrote here 4, because if I write here 4, I have to multiply this with 4 only. Remember, if I write here 5, here also I have to write 5. At that time 25 5 jar I have to take. If I write here 6, then here I have to write 6, 26 6 jar. But that will be very much bigger than 100. So suitable number is now 4 only. Suitable number is 4. So here 24 into 4, 24 into 4 96. Then here down came 4, 100 minus 96 4. Then again one more pair of zeros will come here. And now I will write 14 into 2, 28, ignoring the decimal points. And see here, if I write 1, here I have to put 1, so 281. If I write here 2, then what will happen? This one I am trying. 282 into 2, 2 2 are 4, 2 8 are 16, 2 2 are 415. It is becoming bigger, children. That is why I have to take only here 1. I have to take here 1. So 281. 1 are 281. So 400 minus 281. And that will give 119. 119. And now again one more pair of zeros will come down here. One more pair of zeros. Now 141 into 2. 2 1 are 2. 2 4 are 8. 2 1 are 2. And now how many times it will go? It will go here. You have to do trial and error, you see. 282 is there. How to do trial and error? 282 1 into 1. 282 2 into 2. This way we will do trial and error. 282 3 into 3. So by doing that, you will see that the most appropriate digit will be 4. So 2824 into 4. 2824 into 4, and that will give 11296. 11296. So this process will go on, and after that when we go on doing it, we will get numbers like 1.414, 2136, 4142135, 6237. So it will go on, children. This will go on. It will never come to an end. It will never come to an end. So the decimal representation of this kind of real number is non-terminating, non-recurring type of decimal. That is 1.41421356237. It will go on. So decimal expansion of real numbers. The decimal expansion of real number can be a terminating decimal. A real number can be a terminating decimal. A real number can be a non-terminating but recurring type of decimal. Then a real number can be non-terminating, non-recurring type of decimal. So here we are very much sure. We are very much sure about certain thing. About which thing, sir? About which thing we are very much sure? We are very much sure that the decimal expansion of the square root of a number which is not a perfect square, not a perfect square. 2 is not a perfect square. 3 is not a perfect square. This will be non-terminating, non-recurring. The square root of a number which is not a perfect square, this will be always non-terminating, non-repeating. Square root of 5, 4 I am not taking because square root of 4 is 2. This is non-terminating, non-repeating. So this we are very much sure. This kind of cases, the roots which cannot be extracted, the numbers which exact root cannot be extracted, such roots will give non-terminating, non-repeating decimals. But here, how to know which will give terminating decimals and which will give non-terminating decimals? Which will give terminating decimals and which will give non-terminating decimals? A simple rule is there, children. A simple rule is there. We have to remember that simple logic, and then it will be very much clearer to us. If a see the fraction that is given to us, because a division process, this is a division process. The division operation can only generate terminating or recurring type of decimal. Division operation can generate terminating or recurring type of decimal. So usually when a fraction is given, like you see 3 by 7, 3 by 16, 3 by 16. This fraction is such that first condition, it is in the lowest term or not? It is in the lowest term. Yes, sir. This is in the lowest term. In the lowest term, first condition is satisfied. The given fraction is in the lowest term. In the lowest term, already reduced. You cannot reduce it further. Then what is the second condition? Second condition, the factors of the denominator of the denominator. The factors of the denominator are 2 or 5 or both. Only the denominator, the factors of the denominator are 2 or 5 or both only. Sometimes you will get one factor, so I am not writing R here, I am just writing the factors of the denominator, either 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5 only, not any other factors. Then such kind of fraction gives us a terminating decimal. It will give us a terminating decimal. So here we will see this is in the lowest term. Yes, in the lowest term. Now I will find the factors of the denominator. Denominator is here 16. So 2 8s are 16, 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are. So its factors are only 2. So second condition is also fulfilled. Second condition is also true. So this will give what kind of decimal? Terminating decimal. Check one more number. 5 divided by 12. Children, 5 divided by 12 is in the lowest term or not? Can you reduce it further? No, we cannot reduce it. So it is in the lowest term. It is in the lowest term. Means children, again you see, after the out of these two conditions, first condition is true, that it is in the lowest term. Second condition is what? We have to check the factors are here. Factors of the denominator 12, 2 6 and 2 3. So here what factors are coming? 2, 2 and 3. But our rule says the factors of the denominator should be either 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5 only. Not any other factors, not any other factors, but here any other factor, extra factor 3 is coming. So it is a recurring type of decimal it will give. A recurring type, non-terminating, anti-error, non-terminating recurring type of decimal it will give because of this. Remember, this is not in our rule. This is not in our rule. We will take one more number and we will see whether a decimal number, whether a fraction when converted into a decimal number will give terminating or it will give terminating or recurring type of decimal. So see children, here is the first condition true? Is it in the lowest term? Can you cancel here? Can you cut here? No sir, we cannot cut. We cannot reduce sir. So first condition is true children. The first condition is true. Now you see the second condition. The factors of the denominator. I will find the factors of the denominator here. 2 10 are 20. 2 5 are 10. So 5, after that there is no need of writing 5 1 jar because 5 is the prime number. So now you see 2 5, 2 5, only 2, no, only 5, no, both 2 and 5, yes. So second condition is also true. So this will also give us a terminating decimal. It will also give us a terminating decimal. We will try now one more question, one more fraction. 6 by 14. 6 by 14. Now see children, now you see, is the fraction in the lowest term? No, it is not in the lowest term. If it is not in the lowest term, then what we should do, sir? If it is not in the lowest term, then reduce it to lowest term first. Reduce it to lowest term first. So we have reduced, sir. We have reduced the fraction to lowest term. So lowest term we reduced here. Now you see, after reducing it to lowest term, find the factors of the denominator. What are the factors of denominator? Is it 2? No. Is it 5? No. Is it both 2 and 5? No. That means this is not going to be not going to give a terminating decimal. It will give non-terminating recurring decimal. Non-terminating recurring decimal. So this is how we know. This is how we know whether a given fraction will be giving a terminating or a recurring type of decimal. Whether a given fraction, whether a given rational number, which is in a by b form can give us a terminating decimal or recurring decimal. So always you have to test two conditions. First, reduce it to the, if it is not in the lowest form, reduce it to the lowest form, lowest term. And after reducing it to the lowest term, you check whether the factors of the denominator are either 2 only or 5 only or both and 2 and 5, then it will be terminating. If it is terminating, then if it is not, it will give us a recurring decimal. So if the fraction is already in the lowest term, then only one you have to test this. The factors of the denominator are both 2 and 5 only. The factors of the denominator are 2 and 5 only, or 2 and 5, then it will give the recurring type of terminating type of decimals. One question you see, children, if you go by the second one, sometimes how things are confusing. I'll give you one example. That is 21 by 30. 21 by 30. So here you see, if you ignore this, it is in the lowest term or not, you don't think, and in a hurry, here I will see denominator sir had told, if it is only 2 or 5 or both are 2 or 5 only, then it will give terminating, otherwise it will give non-terminating. Then here after doing this, you will say, sir, this answer is non-terminating, this answer is sir non-terminating and recurring, non-terminating, recurring it will give sir, but I will put here one big cross. I will put a big cross. If you write, I will give a big cross. It is non-terminating and recurring, it is giving because of these three, sir. Because of these three, because only 2 and 5, then we can say it is terminating. Because of these three, it will give non-terminating. But I have given cross. I will say, children, 21 by 30 is not in the lowest term. You have to reduce it to lowest term. 3 7s are and 3 10s are, and answer is 7 by 10. And now I will say, when it is in the lowest term, that time you apply the rule and 2 5s are. Now I will say, children, here only 2 and 5, so here it will give only terminating decimal. So that is why before reducing it to the lowest term, if it is already in the lowest term, then no problem. Then directly see the factors of denominator. If it is not in the lowest term and you are applying this second rule, then it will go wrong. It may go wrong. Sometimes it may not go, it may go wrong. So, if it is not in the lowest term, reduce it to the lowest term, then only you go for checking the factors of the denominator. Then always you will get correct answer. So we will solve some more problems, we will do some more questions on this, but in the next class. So today's mark is only write the exercise question, the solution of the questions which are given in the exercise, write in your mathematics notebook, and tomorrow I will give you some more practices on this, then we can go forward. Thank you, children.